So with this, we finished 2 units. Block 1 is completely done. And with block 2, we've done the first unit, which was an account and client servicing. Now, this brings me to unit 6 of this course, which is on advertising research and campaign planning. This is a little lengthy, but a very, very interesting unit. I will try my best to cover it in next 15 minutes. I just touch upon the concepts so that when you start reading your study material, you know and you have a basic idea of what it is. I hope you are able to see me, hear me clearly, and also see the presentation. So, advertising research and campaign planning, if I were just to introduce this unit to you, advertising research, why do we study it? Why, as students of communication, we need to go through it? Advertising research helps to find out how advertising would work effectively, and it guides in making meaningful advertising decisions. So, without research, you would probably be lost in the air and you wouldn't know what to do. But if you've done robust and good research, you would be able to make a good campaign. Advertising research is a highly specialized field that involves using statistical techniques and quantitative data. In your first year, you've touched upon research, so you know what is qualitative and quantitative data. Uh, After we have gone through this unit, I expect you to be able to describe the meaning and importance of advertising research. So you know what communication research is from your first year content. Now we are specifically coming to advertising research. You should be able to decipher various techniques of conducting advertising research specifically, comprehend the purpose and process of campaign planning. What do we mean by campaign planning? The role of integrated marketing communications, and also how advertising research has evolved and changed in the digital age. I begin with establishing the importance of research in advertising. The advertising industry has actually grown tremendously from being a very small scale business to a full fledged agency. In the initial days, like we discussed yesterday, the history or the evolution of advertising was very nascent. But today we've grown to it. As advertising practices continue to evolve, as they are evolving, changing by the day, it is no more possible to make an advertising decision simply based on your personal choices. Oh, this is my gut feeling. This is what my intuition says, and I can make an advertising decisions. Now you can't, because it's a full-grown, large-scale profession. So research uses measurable tools that not only gauge the overall response of the audience to give an advertisement, what captures viewers' attention, what engages them on emotional level, and what messages should you be giving. So, from the target audience, from the competitors, from the messaging and the communication perspective, research helps you at every step when you're designing a advertising campaign. If we talk about growth of advertising as a business, I mean, just to establish the fact that it is a full grown profession where research is needed. Advertising in its various forms has always been an accepted way of practicing and selling products. Of course, since times immemorial, there have been different forms of advertising that have existed since thousands of years. Forms like, leaflets, or when newspapers came into being, writing on newspapers or writing on just stones, the from the Egyptians that used who used papyrus, to the ancient Greek people, to newspapers. Advertising has now evolved into a profession, which is a very large and a full-grown thing. Uh, so, with the growth of this advertising, the ads which were predominantly informative in nature earlier, now they have also become persuasive in nature, right? So therefore, there is need for advertising research, and you need to persuade someone. You better know that person in and out. How and what communication strategies can you use for this person? So the need for advertising research is that advertising research now is a very specialized research. It involves systematic gathering, recording, analysis of data to help design and even evaluate the advertising strategies and campaigns. The data that is gathered through formal research can help us in telling the marketer that what are the prospective consumers, their needs, their expectations from the products. So this can help you present your communication in a better manner. Research in advertising may be carried out for one or more of the following reasons. There can be reasons like, I would like to maximize the effect of my advertising. I'm working so hard on this campaign. I would like to have the maximum return on investment. I would like to get the maximum results on my spends. I would want the compare the results with my objectives. There can be research where you Like we learned yesterday from the Dagmar model that how to make great objectives for advertising, specific objectives, smart objectives. Now I want to know the objectives that I had and the results I'm getting. Are they in line? Are they in tandem? Are they comparative? For this, I might want to engage in a research. You might want to compare two advertisements. Okay, same brand has come up with two ads. You might want to compare which one is more successful because I would want to invest my money in placing this ad more often. So this kind of comparison, you will be able to do better with your research. You might use research as a basis of your planning on the basis of the information that you collect through advertising research. The advertiser is able to develop a more appropriate advertising plan. Right? So now that we are convinced research is a good thing in advertising profession, we need it for various reasons. Let us see the process that the advertising research goes through. The process is not different from any other communication research that you have. You identify the objectives, you develop a research plan, you collect the data, and then you analyze and interpret your data to get your final results. So friends, if I ask you to just review what we've just seen, will you be able to list out the reasons for conducting an ad research? Or the process of advertising research? This is broadly the process, right? I would just request you do little exercises, while you are leading your day-to-day life. Try to see an advertisement that you like and try in your mind to create a map. Okay, what research would these people have done to come up with this kind of a campaign, right? This will kind of help you to understand the profession better and to start loving the profession better. Now we know the process of research, we know the need of research, we know the significance of research. Now I would like to come to you with the types of researches in advertising. We can divide the advertising researches in two types: pre-testing techniques and post-testing techniques. Pre-testing techniques in advertising, what do we mean by pre-testing techniques? These are very, very popular. They actually help to gauge the success of a proposed advertising campaign before it is rolled out. You've spent money in making an ad, but you have to spend money constantly to put that ad in a certain media. So before you spend that media money, you can test your ad. You can see whether this ad will be effective, whether it will be good, whether it will be successful. And if you learn, no, it won't be very good, you can stop that ad and not roll it out. So before rolling it out to the market, the research that you do is known as pre-testing. So in simple terms, we can say pre-testing is the process of testing the advertisement before running it so that there is a greater likelihood of preparing more effective and getting an opportunity to detect and improve on any flaws that an ad is. It provides an indication of acceptance of a particular advertisement by a certain target audience. Right? You just dipstick study, like we say in research. You do a pre-test. So before rolling it to a market, you do the pre-test. Now, what are the common techniques of pre-testing in advertisement? We will discuss some of them very briefly again. We just name them: consumer jury. In this method, several alternative advertisements are shown to a selected sample of consumers and their opinion is taken on the ads. So these opinions can be taken in terms of ratings, in terms of um, interviews, in terms of ranking scales, any which ways. But consumer jury means that you have a selected sampled jury or sampled group of consumers, and you put your ad before you put it in the market to this group, and you take their opinions through different methods of research on your ad. Another is dummy test. In this technique, you can apply this to both video or electronic ads or to print ads. The ads might be placed in a dummy magazine, or the video ads might be placed in maybe a dummy TV program or a film. These ads get placed there and you see the reaction of the audience to these ads. Okay, so before you put it on the real newspaper or the real TV channel and you spend a lot of money on your media, you do a dummy test with the ad. Another method is direct questioning. You show an ad to an audience and you question them directly. To a group of audience, you ask them, what did you like about the ad? After seeing this ad, would you like to buy a product? Is there any feedback do you want to give us about the advertisement? So these are direct methods. They can be, see, these are very, very interesting methods, friends. Once you read your study material, I would request you to go into detail of reading them. In a counseling session, I can only touch upon them. Binocular rivalry testing. Now, in this method, two different images are presented on the same screen in a way that each eye witnesses a different image on the same time. Now, two competitive advertisements are presented simultaneously, and you're given an equal chance these ads are given equal chance to dominate the attention. So which ad dominates your attention? So this is done by the pupil movement, by looking where your eye was more concentrating. So these kind of psychological and neurological tests are done to see that two rival advertisements which will catch your attention more. Then there can be focus groups where you show a dummy ad to a group and you discuss it with them, with certain people. So it is a very quick and inexpensive method to get feedback on your advertisements. Then there are storyboard tests. This is a method which is used for TV advertisements. You develop a storyboard into a film strip, record an audio behind it. Matlab, before you develop a whole video, which is a costly affair, you just record an audio behind a storyboard, maybe behind different sections of pictures, and you take audience feedback on this. Then there can be trailer tests, where two groups can be given two different advertisements or trailers. One group is shown a test ads which are related to products, while the other group is not shown. Right? Like we talked of experimental method in your MA first year, the control group and experimental group. To one group you show an ad, to another group you don't, and then you see that how do they react to buying your product. This is a trailer test. They can be live telecast test. In this method, the test advertisements are put through certain narrow costing on local channels, right? Before you take them to national television where the stakes are high, the money involved is very much. You put it through local channels or cheaper channels in television, and you put these ads there to see the audience reaction. So you kind of test the waters with cheaper media options available. Then you can have mechanical laboratory pretest measures. These can be like pupilometer, as I said. These measures record the respondents' physical reactions to an ad. You know, I give you an advertisement and I record your heartbeat. So by looking at my ad, did your heartbeat race? If I was showing you an ad for an adventure car, so I make two ads, and I really want you to get a reaction. Or if I showed you an ad for a soft drink, did you experience saliva in your mouth? So these are laboratory tests where you check the heartbeat or skin resistance or saliva through certain methods into your audience. Whatever your ad was supposed to put the emotional or the biological feelings, were they actually there? Right. Eye tracking tests are very, very useful, and they are quite popular, as we had earlier also talked in the binocular test. If I place an advertisement in front of you, I would like to track your eye or your pupil. If your eye is looking at the first corner or the right down corner or the left above corner of that, which is the portion where you notice the most, you are attracted to the most. So I would put that element in the ad. Or galvanic skin response. This is another laboratory test which measures the resistance of your body to current. So by looking at certain ads, does your skin respond in a positive or a negative manner? So these kind of and many of these very, very interesting techniques which you can read in detail in your study material are employed for advertising. Now there are post-testing techniques in advertising research also. After all these pre-testing ad researches, you decide upon the perfect advertisement and you put it out in the media. You spend a lot of money. Now you would like to again test. Post testing is done on the advertisements that are already run in the media to find out the impact of these ads on the audience. The purpose of post testing is usually to give you an insight as a researcher or as an advertiser on the performance of the ad, right? And to draw some conclusions future of advertising. When would you like to run this ad in the future? Are these ads meeting your objectives? Are these ads targeting your consumers? So the most popular one are recognition tests. Your ad has been there in the market for 1 month. Now you take this ad and you hide the brand on the ad. You take it to your audience. And do they recognize the brand of this ad? Right? If they don't, then maybe you've made a brilliant piece of art, but it is not selling your product. It is not helping your brand management. So you need to take off that ad. So where you take these ads to people and you ask them to recognize the brand on that, or recall tests, where you just play maybe the music of the ad. Are people able to recall the brand or the advertisement of that music? So these recall and recognition tests are very popular post kind of advertising techniques, research techniques. There are triple association tests. Test helps to measure how much a reader or a viewer has learned about the product. In this, the maybe the respondent is given clues or codes to identify a brand name. Right? In recognition, you might just want the person to recognize and recall if they're able. And association test, that do they associate your brand with these cues? Then there can be persuasion tests where you need to see whether this looking at this ad were people actually going to the market and buying into your product. Sales test or purchase behavior test. Did my sales in this area increase? In this geographical area, I was putting my ad to the maximum. I was showing it every day on these 4 channels. Did the sales increase compared to the places where I was not showing this ad? So this would be a test of, money. Then there can be inquiry tests. There can be attitude tests. Right? Attitude tests can be your Likert scale, semiotic differential, ranking techniques. So these kind of pre-testing and post-testing techniques are used for advertising. Now we come to what is advertising campaign. Now a campaign is an organized effort or course of actions undertaken to achieve the objectives of an organization. A single ad, when there are many ads on different media, it is said to be an advertising campaign. There can be different types of advertising campaigns based on the geography, local, national, right? Or international campaigns. What are the kind of geographical audience you're covering? Or can be service campaigns, corporate campaigns, or social awareness campaigns based upon the kind of. Hello. Hello. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry for the disturbance. So, based upon what your targets were, what your targets were to create a social behavioral change, or did you want to establish an image of a corporate, or did you want to sell a product or service? Based on that, your type of campaign can vary. I would like to take all of you to take up case studies in your real world to understand what kind of different campaigns of advertising you come across. Right? We have also put some case studies in your study material for your benefit, but they are specifically from India. I would really want you to see them across in your nation. Market segmentation is a very important part of advertising campaign. In yesterday's class, we had dealt in detail about market segmentation, market division, the target audience. So types of market segmentation, just to do a quick review, we talked about demographic, behavioral, psychographic, and geographic segmentations yesterday. So when you plan a campaign, market segmentation, advertising research, clear objectives, all this helps you plan an advertising campaign. How do you decide upon the objectives of your campaign? You can use the Dagmar technique, you can use SMART objectives, you can use these cues to design good objectives. So whatever you want to, whatever your end results that you expect, whether you want to revive your sale or you want to keep the product in the public eye, whatever your aim or the objective of the campaign, that has to be fulfilled. So planning an advertising campaign has these 5, 6 steps. You define your objectives, then you define and identify your target audience, design the advertising message, do the budgeting of the message, develop a whole media plan. After developing the media plan, you evaluate the effectiveness of your campaign so that you know how and where your ad is working rightly. Friends, interaction time, feedback time. Do you understand the term target audience? I hope you do. We had a whole unit number 2 on target audience. Can you list objectives why a company would need and to undertake campaigning or steps of campaign planning? I hope you can. So now I would like to just touch upon integrated marketing communication. When we talk of campaigns, when you talk of target audience and products and brands, alone advertising cannot help you. You have to plan your campaign in integrated manners with all the marketing techniques of PR, of direct selling and other things in line. So this is how we plan the campaigns, and we plan the campaigns with help of research. In the digital area with search engine optimization, advertising research has become all the more important and easier also. You can carry out the advertising research online these days from your desk. Though going to the field, the importance of that cannot be undermined. But in the digital world, even the research and campaign planning and execution can be done digitally. To sum up, research in communication is important. Research in advertising is very, very important. For the success of a campaign, pre-testing and post-testing researchers both can help. A campaign has varied steps from specifying your objectives to evaluation of your advertisement. All these steps have their own importance. You cannot miss any of them. For your help, we have provided you with a glossary and also certain reading material. The list of books, if you get interested in advertising campaigns and advertising research, you can go through these books to read more about this topic. So friends, this was unit 6. We wind it up. If you would again like to give me any feedbacks, talk to me, tell me, speak to me, this is the time before I begin with the next unit, which is unit 7. Any feedbacks, friends? Any talking? Okay. So next I am trying to cover up and touch upon a unit, which is a very, very interesting unit, which is ideation and copywriting, which is unit number 7 of your syllabus. Okay. Do I have your attention? You can write in the chat box or maybe you can unmute and speak to me. Thank you for giving me this comment. Okay, thanks. Okay. So now I come to the most interesting and very, very beautiful part of advertising, which is ideation and copywriting. If you choose to go to the profession of advertising, you might either become an account planner or a client servicing person or a researcher or a media planner, which we will discuss next, or you might want to be a copywriter. If you're a creative person who thinks words or text is your forte, copywriting might be your world. In this unit, we will briefly, let me introduce this unit on copywriting to you. The way you strategically craft the words that will simply carry your brand and ultimately create the connection with your audience is an art and also a science that a copywriter constantly engages in. In this unit, we will try to discover the best practices of copywriting. We will also try to gain insights on how to create masterfully alluring copies, how to create headlines, stories, body copies that will capture the attention and elicit response from your target audience. This unit we have written in first person. This unit is very differently written from the other study material units that you would see. We've written it in first person. We've kept the language very conversational. So it is as if we are talking to you, trying to make a copywriter out of you. Right? So learning objectives, after you do this, I've gone through this unit in your study material, you should be able to discover the craft of copywriting. You should be able to identify how to become a copywriter, how to write a copy for advertisements, conceive ideas, how to compose headlines and body copy, and also if you want to get a job, after this unit, we want to teach you how to approach advertising agencies for getting jobs. So if I discuss about copywriting, what do we mean by copy? The body copy is the actual paragraphs of supporting text, adding additional facts to the benefits of the headline that is given in an ad. It has a greater concept. So in an instance of kind of a print ad, there is a headline and there is a body copy which elaborates or gives more detail about that advertisement. Copywriting lingo includes phrases like concept and copy, concept crafting, conceptualizing, proofing, layout, color proofs, final sign off. So if you take the job of a copywriter, these are the normal terms that you would come across. Copywriting basically means, now you'll ask me, ma'am, okay, you're talking about copywriting, seems an interesting profession. What does it mean? It basically means taking powerful emotions and putting them into words. So emotion evoking words, pictures, showing the reader that his or her life would be more complete, better, easier, more productive, more profitable, happier, whatever the adjectives, if that reader owned what you are selling. So that copy of yours, that ad words of yours, the text of yours, whether written or spoken, should be able to convince, persuade your reader, your audience, your viewer into buying into your product or service. Right? Who is a copywriter? A copywriter is basically a skilled person. He or she is skilled in the craft of writing persuasive, effective words. Now let us come at writing copy for an ad. Look at the current positioning of the brand you are working on. Let me just straight away come to how do you write a good copy. So if I've given you the task of composing a copy for my, say, Kindle. Okay, I say, okay, I own a Kindle and I'm producing a Kindle, factory of making Kindles, make a good advertising copy for my product. What do you have to do? So let's go step by step. Look at the current positioning of the brand that you are working on. So you would say the current positioning of Kindle is serious kind of people for academic readings, people who are traveling or who would not like to carry many books. They can carry a smaller version of something, right? This kind of a positioning or any product. If I ask you to make a copy for what do I have around me? Maybe for an ashtray. So you would have to see what is the positioning of an ashtray at this. Second, you must, now when you have seen the positioning of the brand, please use the brand as an adjective. You are advertising the brand. Friends, there is a very common thing that we tell in ad agencies. You might be a great writer, a great poet, a great composer, a great lyrics writer. But if your poetry, your lyrics, your words are not able to sell my brand or sell my product, you are a waste for me. Right? Your copy should translate into selling my products to the market. It should translate into building my brand strongly. So the brand is your objective. Get to know the target audience. First, get to know the positioning of the brand, right? Then get to know your target audience. We did in the last unit, in unit 2, in the previous blog. How do you get to know your target audience? How you segment them, right? Then you observe and understand your target audience through research. Then you write for them and you rewrite. Then you rewrite until you are sure that what you have to say matters to this target audience. And it matters to the positioning of this brand for which you are writing. So know your brand, know your target audience, treat your brand as your objective, observe and understand, write and rewrite till what you say matters. Okay? So it has to matter to the people and it has to convince them and persuade them into buying. Find a unique selling point by making a tight strategy. So put a unique point and try to concentrate and advocate that point in your copy. Right? Second, learn to handle criticism. If you've shown your copy to your creative director, if they don't like it and they give you certain feedback on it or they criticize it, don't get very defensive. Oh, this is my copy, I've written it. This is beautiful, these words are great. Don't. Own it, but still get detached. Learn to handle criticism, right? Believe in your copy. I would say get married to your copy, but still be critically able to evaluate that copy. Though you believe in what you've written, but you should be open to taking feedback, right? I now want as a progress check. I want you to look at copy of advertisements around you. Pick up a newspaper, pick up a advertisement on your email or on a mobile app, and look at the copy. Try to see what is the benefit, the unique point, or the branding objective, or the target audience they are trying to communicate to. Right? How to come up with an idea? You would say, okay, ma'am, you've told us how to write a good copy. But do I just sleep and I dream of an idea? Like somebody just said, I've visited India in my dreams. Is it an eureka moment that you just get up and you are with an idea? No. You have to come up with an idea. Now, is there an idea in the product name or logo? You have a brand in front of you. How do you search an idea? Maybe in the name you can have an idea. Or maybe you can have an idea in the logo. Right? Come up with an idea that way. For example, in Nike, there is an idea in the brain. You are talking of speed, where you are talking of goddess of speed. Right? In a product called Seni Fresh, the idea is in the product. Sanitation plus freshness. So you would know this is something related to sanitation where it gives you fresh smells. So is there an idea in the product name or the logo is the first thing you can see. Is there an idea in the packaging? How a product is packaged? Is there an idea in that? Can you talk in your copy about the packaging? Can you talk of the pillow packs of a wafer or a chips company? Can you talk of the beautiful packaging of a Longinus watch? Is there an idea in the product how it is made? Can you talk in your body copy about how we make a product with state of art machinery, how our factories are great, how do we do good work? They are making products, right? For example, Amul is a very, very famous brand in India. So Amul advertisements talk of certain things where there is a history to the product. So at one point, India had to had to import milk from other countries because we were short on milk and we couldn't feed our entire population. Then there is a cooperative like Amul that came up, and then a white revolution, which is called in India, came up. So there is a history, there is a story of the brand. Can you include that story in the ad? So friends, I would suggest go to YouTube, look at the Amul ad. They talk of that story of building of that corporate, of establishing of that cooperative society. Right? So they took an idea for their advertisement copy from the history of the brand. Is there an idea in something that's happening around you? For example, around us, if we see, okay, obesity is on the rise. It's just in the newspaper I was reading yesterday, the children are becoming obese. So now can I talk of my sugar supplements? Can I talk of better oils and target obesity, which is on the rise? So whatever is happening around you, can I make a copy around that? Is there an idea in showing what happens with the product? I have a chocolate, I give it to my husband, he gets very happy and love blossoms in the air. There is Valentine's Day around and chocolates are there. So with this product, there is bonding which is happening. Right? Is there this idea that you can take in your copy? There are cases to learn from. We have included the cases of Fevicol and Idea in the unit. These are Indian cases. You can have cases from your own nation. Is there an idea in showing what happens without the product? If you don't have a mobile phone, if you don't have good network in your mobile phone, what happens? You might lose on your classes, you might not be able to do meetings. So can I take that as an idea and work on the product? DHL is a case study. Now, maybe there is a brief in front of you which says that you have to position DHL as the world's most reliable courier. Now, you want to communicate that if you don't have DHL couriers, what is the risk? Your package might end up in wrong hands. Your package might end up getting delayed. So this risk, if you don't want to take, then come to our company. So you got an idea in writing your copy from what would happen without your service. So this is an idea that you can take. We have taken case studies of Amul ads and McDonald ads in your unit. Fevicol, which is a brilliant advertising in our country. You can go through those case studies and you go through the unit. Now it is the time to make the ad. You have come up with a lot of ideas. Quick sketches of our ideas are all around you. You're reading during the creative process. How do you come up with that appropriate, the best idea, the most exact idea? You tag the best ideas on the wall. You write, right? And you never walk away from the hot keyboard. Kind of keep writing, tag the ideas, evaluate, read again, put some of them, delete some of them, categorize them, segregate them, and then try to come up with the most brilliant idea in your advertisement. I would like you to do certain exercises like come up with 15 names for a candy that is vitamin C. We barely have time in our counseling classes, otherwise this would have been a great advertising interaction activity. Now, how do you write a headline? I'll quickly go through the steps. Will you have a bent headline with a straight picture? How do you do that? I mean, these are the questions you can ask. Now I have a picture, I have a body copy. How do I come up with that great headline that would ask people to actually come to this ad? So what are the strategies you can use for writing headlines? So when it comes to writing headlines, you can ask these questions, save the operative part of the headline for the very end, come up with the attractive words and then the operative words. These are little tips that we're trying to give you. Don't let the headline say what the visual is already saying. There is a very small space on a print ad or a very small timing for a video ad. So don't be repetitive. If the picture is saying something, let the headline say something else. Develop a look that no one else has. Try to come up with that creative picturization or visualization of the ad in a nice manner. Write in a manner that you talk. Don't be very academic. Don't be very formal. Don't be very strict with your writing in your advertisement. Write the way in the which you talk. Show the personality of the brand in your body copy. Have the basic structure of your argument in mind before you start writing. What am I wanting to say? Then you will be able to say it better. Don't repeat what you have just said in the headline, right? So once what you're saying in the picture, don't repeat in the headline. What you've said in the headline, don't repeat in the body copy. Okay, so we've seen how to write a headline, how to write a body copy. Write in the manner you talk, show the personality of the brand, don't be repetitive, have the basic structure of your argument in your mind, pretend as if you are writing a letter and you're talking to someone. Provide detail in the body copy which you've not been able to provide in your headline. Your body copy should reflect the overall concept of the ad. It is not fair to inflict your own style on a strategy. Talk about the brand, right? Be objective. Keep the best in the body copy. You don't really want to have a tagline, but if you do want to have a tagline, have it. Look at the strategy or the objective of the brand that you are there with, right? What do you do if you're stuck? If you are going through a writer's block, if you're having this block, First of all, being stuck is a good sign, friends. That means you've been thinking a lot and you will come up with ideas. Go for a walk, sleep over the idea. Just detach yourself a little and then come back to the idea if you're getting stuck or you're experiencing a writer's block, right? If your print is still not coming, work on the radio. If you're working on print and you're stuck with the ideas, work on the other mediums. If you can't write the headline, write the body copy. If it is not happening during office hours, stop in the middle of the dinner and write. Try writing on the notepad instead of the computer. Try writing on the computer instead of the notepad. Try variating in between. Go to the store where they sell that stuff about which you're writing. Spend some time with the product, and maybe the product will talk to you on their own. So these are some of the techniques to diminish your writer's block, right? Ask your colleagues for help. Maybe you can relax, maybe start enjoying the process. Creativity in analog and digital modes is a little different. Earlier you would write for TV, radio, outdoor cinema. Today you have to write for digital, mobile, OTT, websites, apps. So it is a little different in the brave new marketing world. What is less about the message is more about the content. Now the content is the king, right? So less about ads, more about experiences. Now people want experiences. So it is also about talking to the consumers, trying to make them feel for your product. Writing for social media is as if you were writing and talking to your friends. You can actually broadly divide social media users into certain categories like spectators, critics, collectors, creators, joiners. So I've quickly moved from headlines to body copy to social media to digital because it to quickly give you tips on how do you become a copywriter for any of these medias. So when you divide your audience into certain categories, you can be very specific. How do you want to talk to each of these categories, right? So, what a copywriter essentially shouldn't do, always talk to you, not we. Let it not be a top down approach. Let it be a partnership between your audience and you. Let it be a collaboration, right? You are not client's representative. You are the audience or the target person's representative. Get away with the cliche. Don't talk jargon, cliche. Talk in simple language. Okay? How to approach an advertising agency for work is a very, very important thing. Create a portfolio, come up with stuff that is interesting, do some research about the agency, round off your portfolio with variety of goods and services. Being a copywriter, your portfolio should have long copy ads as well as short copy ads. Variety works. Organize your ads very properly. Small write about each campaign. You can just write up, can say how you came up with the idea, what you were thinking. Create your own website or blog in today's world. Even that might be very important. Don't underestimate yourself. Go to the agency, show your portfolio, send your portfolio across to their HR manager on mail and ask for jobs. So, friends, to sum up, we just tried to see how the interesting job of copywriter is. Body copies, headlines, approaching agencies for jobs, overcoming the writer's block. We just touched upon it. And if you want to further read about it, there are some very interesting websites and books we have suggested in the end of the unit and very nice glossary that also we have suggested to you. I have the last 10 minutes of the class and I would like to wind up with the last unit of block 2 so that we are done with half our course, that is, we're done with the advertising part of the course. So the last unit is a very money-minded unit, which is a unit on media planning. So I'll just not take the break. I will quickly in the next 5-7 minutes go through the unit on media planning. I hope it will be useful to you. Before I would just suggest after going through these lectures, please go through your study material for the details on these subjects. So what is media planning actually? Media planning is part of the advertising where it is decided exactly what channel is the best suited to yield the best marketing advertising media goals. Planners rely on markets, consumers, media information to develop media plans and to establish the exact media vehicles that can be used for advertising. Planning actually requires, media planning should go hand in hand with the creative messaging process. It actually requires selecting the most cost effective media mix for media combinations so that the marketing campaign objectives can be achieved in the most cost effective manner. So when you plan your media, your ad is now ready. On which media vehicle you put it, on what timing you put it, how many times you put it is what a media planner has to do. So if you're good at maths, good at statistics, brilliant at softwares, you can be a media planners. And friends, media planners are by far the most highly paid people in the advertising business. So if you're good at number crunching, then media planning can be the career for you. I expect you to understand the key terminology and concept of media planning, to understand how media planning fits into the advertising process, to be able to outline the media planners and media objectives, know the process of developing a media plan, and to be able to critique a media plan after you've gone through this unit. I will only be able to tell you what is that we've discussed in this unit so that when you read it, you are better off. Functions of a media planning. What are the functions of media planning? The first and foremost function of media planning is to enable the planner in determining target audience of the brand that they are promoting. Do you see the value of these two words, brand and target audience? TGTA, whatever we might call them, target group or target audience, and brand. Synergy between them is what a media planner must get. This is the most primary function of media planning. The purpose of media planning is to analyze and make selection of the right channels to reach this group of target audience. Media planning ensures that communication messages are in sync with the overall objectives, and it also helps to achieve these objectives, to invest funds judiciously in the right media vehicle, in the right product, in the right timing. And also, the advertiser can make good strategies that are concentrated on certain audience who they are targeting with the help of a good media plan. So broadly, a media plan indicates the period or the season in which the advertiser needs to concentrate along with the vehicle and the timing. Right? Importance of a media plan is that increasing media options are there in front of you. Fragmentation of the audience is also increasing. Costs are increasing. So is competition and complexity in media buying process. So unless you're able to make a big clearly defined media strategy or plan, it will, these increasing costs, increasing competition and complexities, you will not be able to handle them properly. So importance of a media plan is to be able to handle all these things better. Good media planning strategies are when you disrupt media, interactive audience, keeping in mind all of them, the media planner is kept on track. There are many media weight theories which you will be able to read clearly in your units. Media weight theories actually are, streams of communication that assign weight to these media according to the schedule that you've created. I mean, what is the emphasis to a particular media in this schedule is what these theories come up with. So there are many different kinds of theories, media weight theories, the wave theory, the media dominance theory. These are very simple theories. You will be able to understand them in your content, or the media concentration theory. When you develop a media plan, these theories help you. For developing a media plan, Belch and Belch came up with certain steps. First, you do the market analysis and the target media identification. You know your target audience, you've done the analysis of the market, identified your target group. Who is your target group? You have segmented them. You establish your media objectives in the second step. Then you do the message distribution. What is my audience size? What is the message weight? How do I distribute my message across the media? What is the frequency with which I will do this? So this is part of the media plan. So developing a media plan involves all these steps: market analysis, knowing your target audience, establishing the media objectives, message distribution objectives very clearly defined, deciding on the frequency of your message, the continuity of your message, also implementing the media strategies, factors that affect the media strategy. All this you keep in mind, develop a plan, and then you evaluate your plan and follow up with that evaluation. The certain flaws, you take them out, strengths, you build them upon. So this is the strategy or the broad way in which you create a media plan. Criteria for me developing media plans, the criteria of course is the criteria that is devised from advertising or marketing. Execution of this plan depends on certain considerations. Media mix. How do you decide upon the media mix? Whether you have to give ads on television and online, or outdoor and radio, or you have to concentrate only on print, whether you have to go mobile with your ads, no mobile apps, which is the media that you will concentrate upon? So, elements of the media mix: markets, money, mechanics, and the media. All this you consider before developing the media mix, right? The methodology and the elements are described again in detail in your unit. State your media strategy, whether it is covering your target market, it can be geographic coverage, whether you are beating your competitor's strategy, how have you scheduled your media. There are certain methods that are used for scheduling media: continuous method, flighting, pulsing schedules. So continuous refers to where advertising runs steadily and it varies very little across campaign periods. Flighting is where alternate periods of advertising are concentrated upon and some periods you don't advertise at all. Pulsing means where you mix continuous and flighting strategies by using a low level of advertising all year round, combining heavy advertising during peak seasons and light advertising when there are no peak seasons. So these kind of approaches to scheduling can be there: continuous, flighting, pulsing schedules. There can be additional scheduling patterns like bursting, running the ads, road blocking, blinking. So these all are there. You take care of the time. The timing depends upon the reach, the frequency, the gross rating points, creative aspects and moods of the audience. If there are festive seasons, if there is Christmas, there is New Year, maybe you can boost your products, which are FMCG or gifting products, right? Or if there is summer, you can boost the AC advertisements then as well. So these kind of approaches can be there. Your media plans can go through flexibility. Budget is a very, very major consideration when you decide upon your media plans. Because, of course, choice of media will depend to a very large extent on your advertising budget size. Certain types of media might be too expensive, certain might be within your budget. Cost of maintaining say a leaflet might be less than of maintaining a TV advertisement. So costing and budgeting is a very, very major consideration. We have also explained certain indexes: BDI, CDI. BDI is about geographic regions. CGI is about concentration on product categories. These indexes are there in the unit on media planning. Media planning in the digital age is very different from what it used to be earlier because your audience is concentrated on the internet and still fragmented on different sectors. How do you deal with this converging, concentrated, and yet fragmented audience is something that the media planner of today must research and understand upon. Though there are benefits of digital campaigns, that the reach is more quick, the feedback is more uh, again, the reach is quick and the feedback is very, very again quick, but there are also disadvantages when you talk of effectiveness. So there are benefits of digital campaigns reaching the intended audience relatively cheaper. These are result oriented. You can have integration. So the strategy is to integrate the digital with your traditional media and have robust media plans where you do not miss out upon any of the audience. So devising a media plan for the digital audience, you should keep these things in mind. Decide upon your focus, decide upon your target audience, get inside the minds of your consumer, keep track of your consumer's journey, and get an ideal media mix where you plan and focus on your audience. Take measured risks. Believe in your strategy. This is what a good media planner does. And of course, integrating the traditional and the new media can be really, really beneficial for any media planner. To sum up, I can say I was really just touching upon the contents of this unit to kind of wind up in time. You will have all this in detail. A media planner's job is to place the advertisements which have been prepared by the creative team with inputs from research and account planning and client servicing. Everybody in the agency is involved in making an ads. After those advertisements are ready, be it print, video, audio, outdoor, digital, whatever, these ads are now ready. Which channels and media do you have to place them on? What is the frequency? What is the intensity of your advertisements that you must do? That all is decided by the media planner by keeping in mind the objectives of your advertising campaign and your competitors, and most importantly, your target audience. Then you devise these strategies. There are steps of devising a media schedule, a media strategy, media objectives. All this is there in your unit. If you would like to read, this is a very interesting unit. If you get interested in media planning, you can also read about more softwares which are there. A lot of media softwares are there. to help you make good media plans. So friends, with this, I have wound up half part of MGM 029, that is advertising and public relations. The syllabus on advertising we have covered, but these are only counseling classes. I would again say, please read. I would really appreciate next Saturday and Sunday we have classes on public relations. We will be covering block 3 and block 4. These are blocks on public relation theories and practices of public relation. Please read them and you can just come up with the doubts or issues. It would be really nice to have an interactive class after you have read the material. We've sent you the study material already. You have it in your soft copies or hard copies. Please read it so that these counseling classes can take form of counseling. I don't have to just keep on repeating whatever is in the material. We can do interaction. I would really be happy to learn from you. And we've had really interactive classes in the last semester. Looking forward to that kind of interaction. We meet now on Saturday. Today is Tuesday. So Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, we don't have a class. Saturday and Sunday, we will discuss public relations, the next 2 block in this course. Thank you so much for your time. If there is any feedback, any questions, any comments, anything you would like to tell to me, you're most welcome. Thanks, Elena. Thanks, Mustafa, for staying through the classes. Thank you to everyone else who joined in between, who had to leave for their prior schedules. This is Dr. Padmini Chan signing off with MGM 029 in your second year course. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, Mustafa. I really don't know if you would understand whatever was spoken and told. I hope this did help you in studying the material further. Goodbye. Namaskar from India, from Gurgaon, Delhi. Thank you so much. I'm stopping the recording with your permission. After the recording stops, you can tell me anything that you would want to tell me off the record. Goodbye. Have a good day.